For everyone interested, I published this circuit of a front end for a AM radio going from say 500 kilocycles up to 2 megacycles. This is the schematic. It was also in an earlier video, and today in the afternoon I promised that I told that I wanted to receive other radio stations. Not other radio stations, but radio stations on the AM band. The AM band in the Netherlands is completely dead. There's only one, say, weak radio station, Radio Columbia. My hope and my idea is to receive radio stations from abroad, outside the Netherlands, and I want to say, give this kind of demo. It's only a vlog, I don't show schematics, etc. And the very first thing that I want to tell is that there is no real AM detection. The AM detection is, say, realized here. Effect in the audio amplifier, in the first transistor of that audio amplifier. That's my idea. I don't know that for sure. When you want to know that, you have to study that very extensively with an oscilloscope. Say, look at the signal at the collector of the first transistor of the audio amplifier and see whether if radio stations are detected in an AM amplitude modulated way. Here is the circuit that I showed this afternoon. Field effect transistor, capacitor, antenna capacitor. I use, by the way, now a 22 picofarad fixed value antenna capacitor, and it goes to the indoor antenna. Sorry. No, it goes to the outdoor antenna. Anyway, indoor or outdoor. The outdoor antenna, by the way, it's a 4 meter long wire that goes here and here and here and here, etc. etc. It's more selective. It gives, say, in a kind of way, better results. But the outdoor antenna, say, gives also good results because of its length and the fact that it hangs outside. So there are more signals, there's a more strong signal or more strong signals coming out of that outdoor antenna. And with this capacitor of 22 picofarad, you can say adapt the antenna to the medium wave coil. So let's listen now what happens. By the way, I'm working on that AM radio. Here is the end amplifier, here is the power supply. It's only coarse now. I have to make 2, say, stabilized voltage supplies, and I'm sure that it will work on the longer term, and I will inform you anyway. Well, let's focus now on the radio stations that can perhaps be received. It's now on the outside antenna. Let's listen, try to find some radio stations. Don't know why it doesn't work. Perhaps I have to lift up the... Yes, that's what I wanted to do. Lift up the high frequency amplification. So, to the maximum. And now let's listen whether we can find radio stations. And here we can trim them, say, with a kind of fine tuning. These radio stations are on the so-called AM band, but to my surprise I never heard these kind of strange radio signals on the AM band. The AM band in the Netherlands is completely dead. There's only one active, weak AM radio station, and that's Radio Columbia. Perhaps I can receive it, apart from, say, radio stations from abroad. Anyway. The reason that you hear this very poor sound is in the fact that there is no real AM detection. The AM detection acts by a kind of luck. Anyway, let's listen. So let's try to find another station. There is here a very weak radio station, and I'm sure that when I made this whole radio to a super heterodyne one, I can receive this radio station properly. So let's try to get an insight by lifting up the audio amplification. And you can also hear the fading now. So the radio signal lifts up, lifts down in a certain, say, frequency. Could be a very low frequency. And here it is, say, approximately 1 hertz or so. Whoop, 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 whoop. Anyway, let's listen. Well, that's an old hit that I received somewhere. Let's listen further on the AM band. So now it's the end of that AM band. Dit is Radio Columbia. Here it's an unknown station. A strong station from abroad. And here all kinds of, say, perhaps Morse signals or whatever. I really don't know what it is. I'm of course only searching for broadcast radio stations. Anyway, it shows that this front end works, and in the super heterodyne mode that I'm working on, it will surely work much better. I'm absolutely sure. So I need a local oscillator. The local oscillator will be mounted here. The IF amplifier will be mounted here. Here is the power supply that I'm working on. Two stabilized voltages, both of 12 volts. Here is the audio amplifier and the classic transformers that will do their job.